It is now May, so you all know what that means. It's blockbuster season for movies, and it'll last till September, so it got me thinking how this blockbuster season will be vastly different as compared to 2024. 2024 was a very weird year for movies since it was about a year following the writers and actors strikes, so many movies that were released last year were supposed to be released in 2023, but were either delayed because of the strikes, or some didn't even start production until after the strikes were over. There were many industry insiders that were saying that the mantra for film studios was hold out till 2025 because many expectations for the blockbuster season were that there were going to be so many bombs. For the most part, that was the case with huge disappointing box office numbers. A few examples starting in May was The Fall Guy, the Ryan Gosling-led thriller about a stuntman, and many thought it was going to be a smash hit, but it bombed. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes did well at the box office, but when compared to the previous entries, the numbers were extremely down to the audiences just not showing up. Furiosa and the Garfield movie followed, and both of these films gave incredibly disappointing numbers, especially Furiosa since it garnered critical acclaim, and the Mad Max franchise is very popular for the most part. Garfield, on the other hand, was expected due to it being critically panned. June started out much better with Bad Boys Ride or Die starting off the month, and the season took a huge upside with the release of Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2, grossing over $1.6 billion worldwide at the box office. It finally brought people into theaters and turned the entire blockbuster season around, or at least for a few weeks, because other than A Quiet Place Day 1, there wasn't another big box office earner, with Horizon: An American Saga bombing horrendously, and it took until Despicable Me 4 releasing on the 3rd of July to bring people back into theaters after a subpar June. July didn't fare any better until Twisters being a hit, but it turned around with Deadpool and Wolverine setting box office records across the board for R-rated films and MCU films in general. August was a terrible month with Borderlands being a bomb. Alien Romulus was a sleeper hit, but again, another bad month when it comes to box office numbers as the blockbuster season came to an end with a select few movies being standouts in terms of box office gross. I could include Joker Folie à Deux, but we all know why that movie tanked, and it had nothing to do with any strike. 2024 came and went, so now we're in 2025, and this blockbuster season looks to be very different, and it just started. I say that because Minecraft is on the path to $1 billion, with audiences packing screenings, and many calling it the next Rocky Horror Picture Show in terms of audience participation. Sinners, the Ryan Coogler-directed Warner Brothers Discovery horror film, did extremely well opening weekend, with a very small drop in its second weekend. Revenge of the Sith earning a ton of money in its re-release, and with Thunderbolts getting acclaim, its projections have been rumored to be smaller than the finished gross. With big films such as Superman, Fantastic Four, Elio, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, How to Train Your Dragon, and Jurassic World Rebirth, this blockbuster season looks to be very massive. But why is this blockbuster season different than last season? It's because these films are better offerings than last year's. Studios have been taking a better approach to their filmmaking. Quality over quantity has been a huge focus, and really, people have been going back to the movie theaters this year. There could be a number of factors, but I personally think that people are wanting more time to escape this year as compared to last year. So what better way to do that than going to a movie theater and watching the week's big movie? I genuinely believe that this year's box office numbers will be bigger than 2024 and 2023 because of the bigger and better films being released this year, but time will tell. Go ahead and subscribe if you love movies, and let me know down in the comments what you think of this year's blockbuster season, and see you at the movies.